All right, y'all. Y'all know what time is it? It is 8 o'clock p.m. and it is Earl Grey Tuesday. And as always, it's me. It's that VINCE. And I got to tell you, folks, I almost missed the show. I had actually fell asleep on the couch for about an hour or two or so forth. I'm not sure what's going on here. So I do want to welcome everyone to the show. Hey, Pugman, hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're going to get into, I've seen some of Veganism Exposed video about vegan gains. We'll touch base on that as well. A lot of stuff going on, of course, with Blaha. And, of course, you guys know that Leo and Longevity passed away. Yeah, I had actually spoke with them like 2 days before all this happened. And honestly, he was happy he was getting out of Thailand there. So, of course, because it is Earl Grey Tuesday, I got my Earl Grey tea. So, Hmm. Ah, you're having a cigar and a splash of whiskey. All right. That's what I'm talking about, man. Oh boy. But yeah, it's been a crazy start to the week there and a crazy start to the end of the month actually, you know. And yep, Jake, that was exactly what I said last week there on the live stream. I pretty much knew the Eagles was going to go to the Super Bowl. They've been playing great all year long there, and they've been beating up people, and they certainly did beat up on. They just whooped some ass there, you know. So it's going to be a pretty interesting game, that's for sure. Mm. Yeah, Andrew. It's a mad event there, but you know you got to understand that Leo was into a lot of drugs there. So I've not made a video about it yet. At the time, I didn't have any suspicions as far as to what could have happened. What I'm actually thinking now, possibly, is that Leo was probably messing around with some ether. Uh, that's one of the things I'm actually suspecting, but I think John Bravo has a better idea, and he may be thinking the same thing I'm thinking. But he actually has some information that he's holding on to that you know everyone's not aware of. So, but I'm believing now it's some sort of it had something to do with ether. I saw Cuban's video. He was reading off what Chuck E. Cheese Ranch was saying there. So I'm gonna pretty much ignore that. But you know, Cuban is gonna need to keep his mouth shut about me. You know, and not be trying to read off anything because as far as the regardless as to whether he's reading off something or not, you know, he's not a puppet or anything like that. So, you know, he has free will in order to say what he wants to say on this channel there. He can't just go and say, "Oh, Chuck E. Cheese made me read it" and stuff like that, you know. It's just stupid. Oh boy. A pow mow and a spliff. Okay, usually I would have one or the other. I didn't. Do they still make Pow Mows? Cigarettes? Guess so. That's some old school stuff. Well, Athens people are going to be going to the grave any day. You know, it's like I've mentioned in all my live stream. There's everyone has an expiration date there, and it's sometimes time to go. Uh, you know, I don't want to really say anything too bad about Leo because, like I said, I was, you know, it's kind of scary. It sends shivers down my back. The where you know, hey, I was speaking to this guy 2 days ago. Next thing, you know, 2 days later, you know, blood and stuff is coming out of his nose and in his mouth and stuff like that. Decaf coffee, Andrew. How many? Usually, whenever I was doing security work, I never drunk any decaf coffee, unless it was getting to the end of my shift. I'm not sure how long you work till in the morning there, but like I said, always stay safe out there. I didn't hear about Kalora's mom there passing away. Oh man, that's I'm real sorry to hear that. Wow, yeah, that's definitely not a good thing there. So, hey Joel, I certainly hope you're doing well. And if you just got in here, folks, I want to welcome you all to the show as well. Well, Raul, I do read some unedited comments here, but I got to be really careful now because YouTube apparently is on the warpath this year and they're trying to flag any video. In fact, my video has been flagged already, and we've not even started yet. That's just how bad it's getting. Oh, truth one, I'll deal. Like I said before, I'll deal with Cuban at a later point in time. There. Well, Athens, he could have had an overdose. He could have also hung himself as well. And you know, if you guys look in the background, though, I would seriously doubt that he went and hung himself because there's blood-soaked towels in the bathroom. That place was a wreck. The place was ransacked, but I don't want you guys thinking into that because chances are Tony Huge had some people go over there and remove the stuff, whatever was in there, as well as any type of drugs or paraphernalia that was in there. Thailand has some really strict laws against any type of recreational drugs. They will, it ain't the same as the US. They will, I mean, Thailand is super strict. Mm. Joel, I already said I hope you're doing well there. I didn't even ignore you at all there. So, but we'll see what happened there. I mean, it's definitely not a natural. He didn't die of natural causes. That's for sure. That man's 34 years old. People die of natural causes don't have blood coming out. I'm thinking I'm thinking an ether overdose because I know he was messing around with that stuff. What do I think my longest expiration date? I mean, anything I guess is going to be wrong anyway. I would suspect I would live just as long as my granddad lived. He lived to be in his 90s. I don't worry about that. You don't want to worry about dying. You want to worry about how you live, in other words. That's the most important thing. If you get involved too much into minutia details like that, then you're not really living. His pictures have been leaked there, Truth One. Wasn't aware of that. Let's take a look at it here. Even if there's bruises and injuries there, that still doesn't mean anything as far as that's concerned. Like I said, we don't want to jump to conclusions and stuff here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that definitely is a picture of him. It does look bruised somewhat there, but again, that could be from anything there. He could have been just rolling around. Like I said, that's not something you really want to jump to conclusions here. I wonder where he got those pictures from there. That's very interesting. I'm sorry to hear about your friend, Susan. Yeah, people tend to do that and try to commit suicide, or take some drugs there and they just have one of those moments. Yeah, Pugman, just YouTubers do tend to die because they're public figures. They're under a lot more pressure than before. Either that or they get caught up in a lifestyle. They start earning a whole bunch of money and stuff like that. And you know the old notorious Big saying, more money, more problems. I can imagine Big Lenny would be in tears over that. There, you know, like I said, that's never a good thing for one's parents to actually pass away. So, as far as Young Thug is concerned, what about him? Let's see what we got. I don't keep track of too much hip hop. Especially anyone like that. He needs to put his head up and he needs to wear some better clothes. But you know the old saying, snitches get stitches and rats get bats here. If he did something, he needs to take responsibility, but don't go and drag everybody else in it there. A lot of snitching going on these days, that's for sure. Nobody's not wanting to live by their balls and their word anymore. Not smoking anything right now. Probably within the second hour, I'll probably light something up pretty small, or if not at all, there. Because, like I said, I just woke up and I don't like having usually a cigar after I wake up. John Bravo, I'm not aware of him being in danger, but Tony Huge needs to get out of Thailand. If he's still in Thailand, he needs to leave. He needs to leave and let the bullshit blow over. He doesn't need to be in Thailand at the time because they're going to definitely be looking at any type of drugs or recreational stuff. Because no matter how well you clean out the place, there's always going to be hints of some sort of recreational drugs there. And everyone knew Tony partied pretty hard. So, Ice Monkey, when it comes to censorship, that's happening all around there. That's why but YouTube seems to have taken it to the next level. Not only that, they're actually running ads on videos to where ads are not turned on. I have some of my videos of people passing away that have passed away, and now their ads running on those videos here. And that's what I was also saying about John Bravo's videos. Monetization on YouTube, you don't get really any squat or anything like that. But YouTube will still run ads on it regardless as to whether it's turned on or not there. They've been doing that a lot more. Charlie, yes, I have two air purifiers. Both of them are Muka brands. I actually just recently had to replace the filter in the other one into the main one that I keep in the living room. But, there's always going to be censorship, but it's now getting very bad here. Joe, stop asking about an MMA match with Richard. It's just not going to happen there. Exactly, Raul. Die when you die. You're going to die when you die. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean you should just go and run out in the middle of traffic. You still have to take some general care of yourself, but even if you decide to do things such as smoke cigars, for example, you have to accept the general consequences of what could possibly happen. Because I smoke cigars, there is a chance I can get throat cancer or lip cancer or anything like that. You just have to accept those risks and be a man about it, you know. Me personally, my trade off is that cigars, as well as whiskey, they help reduce stress. And I believe stress is one of the biggest killers. It's one of the main causes of heart attack when people, uh, they overstress themselves and they end up, even if they eat right, if you're stressed out all the time, that puts a lot of pressure on your heart. That's one of the reasons why I like cigars here, because it's very relaxing. Me and Richard is gonna probably debate again, probably within a month or so. I was actually gonna go back to work this month there, but I'm gonna hold off for another month actually, to get some stuff done. Well, even in an overdose, truth one, depending on the type of overdose, if he's having spasms and seizures, he's gonna be bruised up there. Uh, you know, so like I said, we don't want to read into it too much here, but it's very suspicious circumstances. I'm thinking still that it's probably an overdose. Yeah, Raul, and I knew he had a girlfriend. I mean, you're in Tony Hughes' house here, you know. Tony Hughes likes to party, and he has a bunch of women over and stuff, you know. And it's kind of sad that since he's got a wife at home and everything, you know. But man, one person not to hang out with is Tony Hughes. That I'm like, geez. I mean, when you hang out with Tony Hughes, I mean, Tony Hughes is more bodies in the grave than a Chinese graveyard, here, literally. Yeah, I got more videos coming up of Blaha. I was gonna make one, but of course, this whole Leo situation came up. Pugman, there is no way in hell I would ever move to Thailand. Uh, I mean, my money would stretch a lot further, but Thailand's a shithole. In other words, I mean, there's nothing, there's no good down there. You know, it wouldn't be an issue as far as the language is concerned. But there's just a lot. There's just a high crime rate and too many temptations. I would say as far as things are concerned. Pugman, my like I said, I can't give up the caffeine. I mean, my granddaddy, he drunk coffee. I mean, my whole family is just big on coffee. It's a secret to my super strength. But yeah, the U.S. dollar goes a lot further in Thailand. I mean, I would live like a king there, as well as in Mexico. That's no doubt about it. But I think the trade off would not be worth it. I think Thailand's a very dangerous place. Joel, I don't twerk like Richard because I'm not gonna go and embarrass myself or shave off any of my dignity just to do something like that. Now, of course, I'll do a couple of stunts there. If you guys remember, I dressed up for Halloween and stuff like that. There's general situations there to where that would be in place, but and if you look at what he's twerking to, it's just kind of ridiculous. It's not really so much the twerking. I don't really have any issues with them twerking. It's just that OnlyFans page him and his wife run. If all they did was twerk, okay, that's fine. But when it comes to that OnlyFans page, that makes it a lot different. It's the same with Nick Trigili. Someone apparently released some of his wrestling videos when he's wrestling with a skinny person. So, uh, and for some reason or other, he's pretty pissed off at me, which I don't know why, but Trigili's always pissed off. Either that or he's just trying to start something just to get more traffic. Thoughts on brand muscle gels? Are you referring to the testosterone gels or the massage gels? You'll have to name the brand in particular because, that can go into a lot of directions there, Raul. I've never met Tony Huge. I've never talked with Tony Huge. But I do know of his reputation as being a party animal. I'm always a fidgety person, Broteen. Especially when I'm sitting in a chair. I do move around a lot. Pugman, I'm not gonna stop smoking there. Like I said, we all have our vices. That's just one of mine that I use in order to deal with any type of stress and also to wind down and relax. I will say one thing, Pugman. I definitely don't smoke as much as I used to when I was working at Verizon. I've pretty much cut down. I was smoking like, at one time, I was smoking like 3 or 4 big old cigars a day and stuff. And I was drinking a whole lot more coffee. So now, if I start competing again, just under any reason there, Pugman, then I'll have to cut out all of this smoking, and I would have to definitely, I wouldn't be drinking too much caffeine because I would be taking pre-workouts and stuff. But in general, as far as cigars are concerned, they're relaxing. It's a great way for me to de-wind. I find, in my opinion, that the benefits outweigh the consequences. You know, JH is perfectly fine to run that with test there. Now, just to let you know, I can't give out. Obviously, I can't give out dosages or anything like that, but one doesn't interfere with the other. Raul, we roll the dice every single day. Every single day of our lives, we roll the dice with every decision that we make, with every bite of food that we eat, with every breath of air we take. We roll the dice every day. Any choice that we make has millions of different outcomes that can take place. It's like this, take this cup of tea there. Whether I drink it or whether I decide to pour it out. That can go out into different scenarios and different directions, possibly. Of course, if I pour it on my feet, I'm going to burn my feet and I'll end up in urgent care. So you see that as an example. Well, I did acknowledge your video of veganism, and I did see where he was making fun of Leo, saying that he thought it was funny that he died there. So I'll definitely get to that. You do good work there, veganism. It saves a lot of us a lot of time trying to cut through all 6 hours of Richard's bullshit. Yeah, Greg does look a little bit older. He's I think I seen him in a video where he's training this 500-pound fatty. Uh, I don't know if I think I'm older than Greg there. It could be the other way around. I'm not for sure. But I think Greg is actually around my age, possibly. Let's take a look, actually. Greg Doucette age. Greg Doucette is 2 years older than I am. Or actually about a year and a half older. He's 47. I turned 46 in April. Well, 47 is, when you're getting our age, 46, just because you don't see any gray hairs on me doesn't mean I have them. If I grew my hair out, or if I was capable of it, it would grow out all gray hairs just about. He's up in age there, and, sometimes your age accelerates within just a matter of months here. It's crazy. Yeah, Joe. Joe. I'm not discounting the fact that he could have gotten beat up or whether he got murdered or anything. What I'm trying to say is I wouldn't jump to too many conclusions. Just from looking at it, it's possible that he could have OD'd, uh, but on the other hand, yeah, he could have gotten beat up there. John Bravo knows something there. That's something I can acknowledge. He knows some more information about it, Pugman, I've not even filed my taxes yet. I still have to wait on my W-2 forms from Verizon, and I didn't opt. I think I forgot to opt for them electronically. Uh, so I'll actually have to wait until I actually receive them. I know I will get a very large tax refund back, but I'm not sure because there's a lot of credits I can actually use. I'm just not sure as far as to how much. Raul, Tony is probably the ugliest person I've ever seen, actually. Well, Kentucky, just like a lot of other people, genetics. I mean, let's take a look at Big Lenny there. He's had numerous overdoses, but then you have someone like Cedric McMillan who actually dies. You have someone like Sean Roden who dies. It's all about genetics. It's all about how much of a constitution that you have, how much damage you can actually take. In other words, Tony Huge has a huge constitution. And you have to understand he's been partying for a very long time, so he's used to the party lifestyle. So, but it's all about genetics as far as that's concerned. I've seen people who have never touched any cigarettes whatsoever, never smoked any blunts or anything like that, and they die of lung cancer in their 20s. Genetics always plays a big part as far as someone's longevity is concerned. But another thing is also making the right decisions. Joel, I've never taken any shrooms. I've done coke before. Yeah, I've done cocaine. I've done ecstasy. And stuff. I've definitely taken a bunch of GHB, but I've never taken shrooms before. But we're talking about stuff that I did almost over 20 years ago. But even that, along with steroids, can affect my health even today. That's the thing about drugs. You never know what the end result could be. Something that you did 20 years ago can affect you even in this day and age. Athens, I would never even live like Tony Huge, even for one day whatsoever. So you'll have to discount any type of drug of choice there. I've already mentioned the drugs that I've actually taken in my lifetime, and I look, folks, I'm not gonna run from anything from my past or anything like that. It was just a different time. You get out of the house and stuff. You're a teenager. You're out at clubs. You're partying and stuff like that. You don't always make the wisest decisions, and I definitely made some pretty poor decisions in my 20s here. But I'm very thankful that I'm still around, actually, because I could be just as easily dead as like any of these other people. That's a good question, KCB. I mean, I did notice the bloody towels in the bathroom. It's very concerning, to say the least. My favorite Blaha mint at this point in time would actually be when he made when I played off those answering machine as far as all that BS he was talking about how much money he made and stuff like that. That was some really good mints. Hey, Scatman, welcome to the show here. I'm not sure if you got here earlier, if you've not said anything. I did not watch the After Hours show, so I couldn't reference anything. I've been kind of busy for the past couple of days. Well, Andrew, as far as smoking a cigar is concerned, that's an acquired taste. That's something you would have to desire. Some people pick up and try out a cigar and they absolutely hate it. And some people pick up a vape and they absolutely love it. It just really all depends. So if it aggravates your throat and everything like that, then don't smoke a cigar. Well, Athens, don't do you know the Thailand drug laws are harsh. And when it comes to recreational drugs, that's something you don't want to play around with, Athens. That's why I was kind of weirded out that Tony Hughes decided to actually come back to his home. He needs to fly the hell away from that place for a while and let the BS blow down, regardless as to what it is. Barbell, I have no clue as far as to whether Nick is doing gay for pay, but I'm not gonna go and trash his girlfriend. I'm gonna definitely leave that out as far as the regardless as to what she's doing. I never go and piss on another person's family, anyone that's not involved in the fitness industry or hasn't done anything. That's the same with Jasmine, of course. Well, Scatman, that's a non-issue because you would never catch me in a gay for pay scene to begin with. So asking that type of question is mute. Since I would never participate in any type of pornographic scene, that nullifies any decision that I would actually make on it. Well, protein bra, anytime as far as a cigar is concerned, I'm always going to smoke that in a appropriate place, whether being in a cigar lounge or in my home. But whenever I have my mom over, I'm definitely not going to be smoking a cigar when my mom is here. There's a time and place for everything. You can always put the lighter down, and be respectful. Hello, Love Lauren. Yes, I'm having a pretty good evening there. I can't complain too much. I just actually woke up there, so I'm still wiping the crust out of my eyes. Joel, shrooms are not good. I would see them this. I treat shrooms the same as methamphetamines. There's all sorts of weird things in there. It's not the same as coke and stuff. Although ecstasy, there's all sorts of weird things in that as well. So I can't really speak for say. But don't take recreational drugs there, Joel. Just stay away from them. That burned through a lot of my cash back in my 20s here. So, Andrew, I don't think Richard is going to get banned for that type of comment. It's not as bad as the him making fun of that kid and everything like that. He's done a lot worse. Yeah, I suppose we do have similar physiques there, but Richard is a lot taller than I am. He's probably got at least 5 inches over me. Susan, I appreciate you saying happy birthday, but my birthday isn't until April, but feel free to send some early gifts there. What I can use right now, I need to replace faucets on one of my kitchen sinks. Actually, I need to go to Home Depot this weekend and get that taken care of. Pugman, I am not wearing no toupee. If I wore a toupee, it wouldn't be natural or anything like that. I look good bald anyway. Bald is beautiful. Bald is very beautiful. Scatman, middle age begins at 40, If you think 30 is middle age, no. Your testosterone levels for most men drop at the age of 35, unless you're taking gear. So you can imagine where mine's at. Mine's in the toilet, that's for sure. Michael, I'm looking at the pictures right now, and I hadn't seen that picture before. I knew he was naked and everything like that. But yeah, it looks pretty bad there. It looks very concerning. I think the thing that really shakes me up is, I was just talking to this man 2 days ago. So.
Your head looks dented.
Vince Goodrum with a $3 donation. It's just the way the camera's shining, so watch this. So if you guys notice there, let's see, the other way. It's just my head is just shiny, and I have noticed that for some reason or another it looks kind of dented, but no, there's no dent. If you can tell, without the shine on it, you can actually see that my head is perfectly fine, but yeah, it does look warped. I don't know what to really do about that, but again, thanks again for the donation. So, well, Raul, I'm not sure what you're wanting me to fact check on there specifically. If you want me to fact check on the Leo pictures, I don't know all the facts there at the present time. Do I think Richard can run 2 miles in under 20 minutes? You can literally walk 2 miles in 20 minutes, actually. So I would say it's pretty feasible. Well, yeah, Scatman, he is a pretty ugly dude there, And it's from all the gear that he's actually using. But yeah, guys, if you noticed, if I move my head a little bit here this way, you'll notice that it's not denting as much. But when I move it down, that's where it's actually shining. So that's why it looks dented. Well, Coke is a stimulant there, so it's a good rush there. So, yes, Raul, any drugs that you've taken, even as a kid, can affect you even in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, however long you live, you know? Any type of drug has any type of effect there. You've heard of people that have stopped smoking and haven't smoked for like 10 or 20 years, but because of so much smoking that they've done in the past, that they've went ahead and gotten cancer and stuff. But I have no regrets as far as to how I've lived. These are experiences in life that everyone actually has. You can't live in a pious manner per se. You got to have a little bit of adventure in life, at least if that's what you call real living. Yeah, I saw some of that truth one. I don't know what's wrong with Jay. I mean, he's got to clean up there. James, eventually there will be more Blaha videos here. And there's some new stuff that he's actually done. It's always good to review some of his antics there and debunk some of his musings. There'll be a Joe. I mean, there's already been a Joe P. I've already gone live with Joe Piotaro many times, Scatman. And I also did one with that meth addict in Canada as well. So Andrew, you're going to find that a lot of people, especially in the fitness industry, has done a lot of drugs there. Barbell, Jasmine is a woman. She's not transgender or anything. Raul, I have no idea who you're talking about as far as a hospital gown naked wearing cowboy boots here. Whoever it is must be pretty interesting. Pugman, no. My air purifier pretty much takes care of everything. And the biggest thing is I also keep my windows open, so no, my house doesn't smell like cigars. I mean, I will say it would smell like cigars for all of about, after I finish a cigar, for all of about maybe 20 or 30 minutes. My air purifier is very powerful. And plus, I keep one in the bedroom as well. I need to actually have one in here, to be honest with you. Yeah, Pug man, I would actually say that drugs have probably damaged, probably has damaged my heart there, but not to the point to where you've had any issues. I think people eating cheeseburgers every single day would cause more damage. But I mean, I still get regular checkouts there. My doctor says my heart's fine. I've not had any issues or anything like that. So. KCB, Thailand is a place where you can buy your way out of anything and everything, but you don't want to be in a position where you have to do some stuff like that. And a lot of times that stuff can backfire. You can get extorted, for example. Joel, I've never had shrooms before. Andrew, people can ask general steroid questions. I'm just not allowed to go over any type of dosages or actually tell people what to actually use. But for the most part, yeah, you are right. I can answer some steroid questions to a small extent. Scatman, I don't know why people do that. Did that massive unsub day on him a couple of years ago, but they can't unsub from him now because he no longer has a channel. Well, Scatman, if you can consider it being 29, for me, middle age for me began at 40. So actually, things didn't. I mean, I'm sorry things declined for you at 29, but I was still jamming at 29. Still tossing around big heavy weights and stuff, you know. Still going out to clubs and everything. It's just the way the camera reflects off of it, you know, and I've not turned on my light tonight. Well, Andy, as people get older, that pool of people of dating does get harder, you know. Teenagers and people in their 20s want to date people their age, you know. But, you know, me being 46, I'm not going to be going and chasing around any 20-year-olds for the most part. 20-year-olds do chase me around because they want that daddy complex. They want someone to take care of them and stuff, you know. I get that a lot. Well, Andy, I said you can almost walk 2 miles in 20 minutes here. I mean, it would be a fast paced walk. 2 miles in 20 minutes is not very fast. It's not that bad. Scatman, no, I'm not going to donate my semen there because any money that I have left, someone can use that for nefarious purposes. Either that, I don't want it to come up in some sort of government registry or something like that. You know, you never know. I think there's something in place to where the government may be trying to take a hold of DNA from people. I mean, eventually it's going to be in a day and age to where people are going to start getting microchipped and everything. Those days are actually coming there. And you know what? People are not going to say anything. People are going to accept that as normal behavior. They're going to first actually put it in a way to where, we no longer have any lost kids or anything like that. Kids will never have to worry about being kidnapped. It's going to start with something like that as far as being microchipped is concerned. Andrew, I don't know who a Sneeko is here. I do know who Sassy Savage is. She's a mess here. That's when we did that collab over at Joe Piotaro's show. God help that woman. Well, Raul, my air purifiers they're pretty expensive, and what they do is they detect any type of smoke in the air, and that's when they rev up, actually. Whenever there's a level of smoke in the room, they will actually turn on and clean the air. So mine goes automatically. I don't have to worry about turning it on all day. It comes on automatically. Now I could set it to constantly be on high, but I just keep it on the automatic settings. Joel, this is a 2-hour live stream. It's not 1 hour. Raul, for the most part, I would not, I don't have any interest of smoking any weed. Now, with that being said, given the medical benefits of any type of marijuana, if I need something to cope with any type of pain issue, and I'm just saying theoretically, I wouldn't actually smoke it. I would probably take something like a chocolate or something like that. But I wouldn't actually. I just simply don't like the smell of it. If I was going to use something like that, I would take advantage of the general properties and benefits of marijuana. I mean, I acknowledge that marijuana has a number of beneficial benefits here, especially someone that's suffering from cancer, for example. But yeah, I would be the person that would actually take it in like a chocolate or cocoa or something like that, or some sort of snack as opposed to smoking it. Well, Jamie, if I'm suffering from any type of cancer or something or anything like that, then I would want something that's pretty strong, you know? mm. Oh, man, gotta wake up there. Folks, my nap was very late there, so if you see me wiggling around like this here, that's why. No, I don't. I wouldn't want any oils or anything like that. I would actually want to actually have something to snack on as far as edibles are concerned, not some sort of topical. I wasn't talking about any aches and pains as far as for marijuana use. I mean, a couple of Advil or aspirin is perfectly fine for me. But I'm talking about in a medical scenario, Jamie, is when I would actually consider using any type of edibles, for example. Oh yes, half dollar. I had already seen that video. That's happened a lot there. A lot of these places there and a lot of these facilities, they're getting tired of their shit that they're doing. And they're beginning to push them to the side. And I think one person about a year or two ago got actually crushed by a tractor trailer. Usually my naps last about an hour or 2 hours. I just had a very late nap. Usually I take one around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, protein bra, I don't eat any edibles right now because I don't have any reason to. But if you're in a situation as far as having cancer, the last thing you're gonna care about is panic attacks, and you just want to have something to control pain management. If you're in a lot of pain, I would rather take care of pain than worry about a possible panic attack. What's my best investment I ever made? Probably in my Atari ST computer that I got as a kid. I was able to learn basic programming. I was able to learn how to use websites. I was able to access all sorts of information, which, to this day I actually still use. So I think that's been my best investment ever was my computer. I think as far as investment is concerned, the best investment out there in general is in education, is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is also money as well. Frank from the gas station. The answer is no. Well, Peter, Richard has to have some level of strength given how much he lifts. He does lift more than a normal person. But you could say the same for Jason Blaha. Anyone that's lifted regularly is going to be stronger than any ordinary schmo, unless they have some natural genetics. You have some country boy strength there. But even they, someone that works out on the farm baling hay is going to build up muscle pretty quickly as well. How do I drink tea and take naps? Well, this is Earl Grey tea. So, Earl Grey tea is very relaxing. Andy, I've never heard that being said, but you have to think about it this way. I looked a lot older in my 30s. I think when it comes to being in your 40s, you take a lot more time in, and you take a lot more value as far as your appearance is concerned. And of course, someone my age is going to have more money, and we're going to be better equipped to spend money on quality. That's in general, of course. I look a lot younger now as it stands than I looked in my 30s. Uh, and that's just for that reason that I take better care of myself. And someone that's in their 40s or 50s, or someone who is, at the very least, has to have some level of wealth, in other words, as opposed to being in the 20s here. So that's why that's in place. Still having a Amiga 500. Oh, wow. There's still people using an Atari ST and an Amiga 500 even to this day. Charlie, I'll be honest with you. I've been using AI software for the past couple of months, actually. For right now, AI technology is actually a company's work. I've used AI technology, and it's been able to get a lot of my work done that used to take me for quite some time. Well, Charlie, black doesn't crack really for the most part, so. Cigars can age you, but one thing that can really age you is stress. And I smoke cigars in order to relax, to de stress. So if I didn't smoke cigars, I would probably look a lot older. That's another thing. I think that's also a reason why I looked a lot older in my 30s, because, I was in that competition stage. I was always stressed out all the time, and everything. I was working two jobs. So you got to think about it that way. Yeah, Lenny and Jay are in their 50s here. They're not much older than I am, but they do have some years ahead of me. So, well, I appreciate that, Truth One. I actually, like I said, once I turned 40, I began to start caring more about my general appearance. Not that I hadn't done previously, especially when I moved back to Greenville. I really did clean up things a bunch. So, well, Pugman, I work a lot right now because I bought out a cell phone company, Cellular Cowboy. I also started back my online grocery store. All the work I'm doing right now is really just temporary until things get settled down. But there's a lot of things I've been building lately. That's why I've also been using AI technology in order to build some of my websites. But my goal is I had a lot of empty web domains that were going unused. and now I'm trying to get them all back up and running in some sort of capacity, doing something. But my work goes in spurts here. I didn't do too much work today. Only for the most part, I did a couple of hours work. I actually sat here. I was waiting on some calls to come back in while I was watching a little bit of YouTube and a couple of other seminars. That's another thing. I've been doing a lot of seminars and Zoom call meetings as well for some of my suppliers. But for the most part, I think work keeps me. I think work for the most part can be good for you, uh, because an idle mind can get you in a lot of trouble. The best way to make a passive income, I think affiliate marketing, if done right, can make good passive income. That's a lot of things that I'm converting my websites over to. The ones that I've not used in a while, I'm converting them over to affiliate sites. But the best way for passive income is you just got to find what your talent is, and you have to find a way to monetize that. And so let's take, for example, if you're a barber, if you've been to barber school, for example, you can naturally cut hair, but you can also do YouTube videos, for example, on showing people how to cut hair. You can write articles on cutting hair, and you can get Google AdSense. You can monetize that as well. And Raul, I'm going to ignore your question. Oh boy. Hmm. Think it's time for a smoky smoky. Now that I've taken a nap so late, I think I'm going to end up being awake until 2 in the morning. I wasn't able to sleep too well last night, honestly. I woke up in the middle of the morning. I think it's all this temperature changing because now out there it's actually 60. If Lenny appeared at my door drunk in the middle of the night, I probably wouldn't let him in because I'd be dead asleep and I probably wouldn't hear him. Well, Scatman, I worked in my robe when I worked at Verizon, so this is what's called a house coat. The only time you'd see me in a sweater or something like that in my house is if I'm on a Zoom call or a conference meeting. Or in a general video. But at nighttime, yeah, I'm usually in a robe. Charlie, Leo, not knowing it's in itself there, Leo was probably using the same drugs that Tony Hughes was using. A lot of coke, a lot of this, I think the biggest thing also was a lot of drinking, and I heard they were actually messing around with ether, which is highly dangerous. Raul, I would only do that if I'm dressing up for a Halloween special, so October is a long way off. I don't really troll around in forums. I still go into Get Big, but I'm banned from the Muscular Development Forum. I don't go on RX Muscle Forum because that thing malfunctions. But I don't troll around anymore for the most part. You take 4 hour naps. That's kind of a long time there. That means you're probably not getting enough sleep at night. No, no ether, not alcohol. That's I think you're got that mixed up with ethanol, but no, actual ether. Speaking of ether, Ethereum's doing pretty good today. It's dropped a little bit, so and then it went back up. I mean, yeah, I think you got Pugman. I think you got it mixed up with ethanol. But ether's pretty much a. It's pretty much an anesthetic, actually. Well, the RX Muscle Forum and the Muscle Sport forums have not been changed in over 10 years. You've never heard of ether? It's colorless and odorless, and lately it's been used for it's been used as an alternative recreational drug. It's pretty easy to get it. It's an industrial product, so it's pretty easy to get a hold of. You're gonna take some Benadryl. You feeling okay there, Pugman? Usually when I take any type of Benadryl or anything like that, it's usually when I'm sick and I need to get some extra sleep. Andrew, what question did you ask me specifically? Hmm. Well, Charlie, Tony talks about what he actually does, so I don't really consider it shady if someone's being up front with you about it. But he lives a party lifestyle. He's in Thailand, and that's to be expected. Just to let you guys know, people go to Thailand to party. They're not there to really see the sights or anything. I'm going to be honest with you. They're there to party. Thailand when tourists go to Thailand, it's the party. It's like Vegas. If you go to Vegas, you go there to gamble. I've never seen anyone go to Vegas just to go see Carrot Top or Wayne Newton or so forth, or Celine Dion. I could be wrong, but most people go to Vegas to gamble. Yeah, there's been a lot of offensive words there. Yeah, I just went ahead and looked back. Yeah, YouTube's blocked a lot of your stuff there, Andrew. Some of this stuff, depending on what you write up here, even I can't see it. So if you're writing some silly stuff there, Andrew, or anyone, uh, like I said, YouTube is cracking down, so it's probably you'll still be able to see it, but other people won't there. It's one of those algorithms to where that way you basically can't see your own block message there, Andrew. And sometimes even I can't see it, but I do see a couple of your comments retracted as well as a couple of other people's. So It is what it is, but go ahead and ask your question again and I'll see if it shows up or not. Why did Leo flee his country? Because of that, probably because of that domestic violence situation. You know, Leo was in some trouble actually in the States, and if he had stayed around, he probably would have been arrested. Yeah, I mean, Thailand is party city, you know. Of course he's going to go to Thailand that night. If I wanted to go party, I'd go to Thailand, you know. Or if I wanted to gamble, I'd go to Vegas, you know. If I wanted to have sex with my cousin, I'd go to Alabama. Or if I wanted to get married to my cousin, I'd go to Alabama. Messed up the joke. If I wanted to marry my cousin, I would go to Alabama. Whoopsie. I think Jay wastes his time talking and arguing with Trigili. I know he was getting on Romano, which I can't figure out why. You know, Jay has to clean up on a couple of things. That's for sure. Maybe he needs a cigar too. I mean, although he smokes those nasty cigarettes. Pugman, I'll probably go to Canada sometime either this year or next year because I'm wanting to go to see the Toronto Pro. Plus, I want to visit my friends Don and Brandon. But you have to understand, me and Richard are at each other's throats, so it would be a question as far as to whether he would want to meet me or not. I mean, I suppose I could meet him at Doomy's there and have some tofu or so forth. I've heard that that place is pretty interesting. So, no, I'm not going to Leo's funeral. In fact, I have no clue as far as to where his funeral would be. Like I said, this guy just passed away yesterday, so I mean, there's no telling whether he's going to be cremated or whatever, you know. Deadrith, it's part of Richard's disorder. I mean, he said he was a sadist at one point in time. So yeah, he gets joy out of people dying. Here, you know, maybe he needs cigars and whiskey. Joel, I've already answered that question there about visiting Richard. Number one, I would have to go to Canada. Number two, he would actually want to meet up with me. It takes two to do something like that. So, I mean, I'm not worried about him trying to fight me or anything like that, but still. Joel, wherever Jasmine goes, usually Richard is behind. I mean, did you not hear Richard on his one of his live streams saying that Jasmine is his only friend? That's kind of sad too. I mean, I doubt if that's believable or not there, but I think that both him and Jasmine they can't live without each other. At least Jasmine because she doesn't work or anything, so she has to. You know, Richard is the breadwinner. In other words. Joel Richard wouldn't hit me at all if we were to actually meet. A lot of this tough talk there is just tough talk. The only person I would probably hit would probably be Cuban. I'd go and pick up Robzilla and we'd go pick Cuban up and go bury him out in the Everglades. That's the only person that's really pissed me off. Richard, not so much, you know. But if me and Richard were ever to meet, we wouldn't be fighting, that's for sure. After all, we're somewhat family, so. Pugman, if I did that, I would definitely do a video. Scatman with a $5 donation. How much for you to become my own private big bear dancer? I pay handsomely and I've been told I have hands and mouth of gold. World record cum dumpster and scat devore. You can give me everything you got in that soul pole, Daddy. Well, thanks for the donation. I definitely appreciate it. Next question. Scatman, get help, by the way. Oh. But like I was saying, Pugman, if we were ever to meet up, you know it would be on video. Richard wouldn't miss an opportunity to put something like that on video. You know it'd be on video. I don't feel like getting Rob on a live stream right now, and that would be something we would do probably on an Instagram or so. Raul, I'm not interested in any type of extreme sports. That's just not one of my things there. I'm not an extreme person, you know. It's sort of like an antithesis to the way I live. I think that's a good word. Protein bra, the reverse cowgirl is not illegal in Alabama. You know? I have no clue what you're talking about. I mean, you can do a dirty Sanchez, you can do it doggy, you can do it missionary. You know, you can pretty much go to any position. You can even do the flaming Amazon. You know what a flaming Amazon is? It's when you're pounding a girl, you take a lighter out, you light her buckwheat on fire, and then you spray it out with your juices there. So that's a flaming Amazon. It's not against the law. Hmm. Hmm. Now it is sort of illegal to do a donkey punch. You can get charged with assault. I see no purpose in punching someone in the back of the head while you're screwing, so. No, I don't get the joke. Some stuff flies over my head, which is perfectly fine. No, Pugman, I don't do any low rep training. I like high reps. High reps, when you do high reps, it has an aerobic effect. If I'm gonna do any low rep training, then I would be in a position where I'm lifting pretty heavy, which I don't do anymore. So no, I do no low rep training. I try to get in at least 12 reps per. I try to get in 12 reps usually, 12 sometimes up to 20, but definitely no low reps. Oh, okay. Now I get the joke there. So, like I said, that one flew over my head. Ah, all nice and relaxed now that I got my cigar. I'll probably end up cooking something once this live stream's over with. All right, folks, we got 40 minutes left. Get your questions in. If you want to put something in the collection plate, you can do that too. $100 donation. I'll get your math problems done for class tomorrow. So, just kidding. Andrew, I rarely eat fast food. Fast food, for the most part, is garbage. I probably haven't eaten any fast food since I done that live stream. Well, actually, I did have fast food, I think, back in October. But I abhor from fast food. I don't like it. I don't like a good cooked meal with quality ingredients, and that's the thing about fast food. It's never quality ingredients, and it's no longer cheap too. Fast food's gotten a lot expensive. Have I've noticed the prices have gone exponentially up. Truth one, 4 to 6 reps is good for muscle density as long as you're lifting heavy, you know. And that's the key word, truth one, as long as you're lifting heavy. Well, Andrew, I wouldn't consider pizza as fast food. Well, I guess it all depends if you go to like Little Caesars or so. But even Domino's Pizza, it still takes about 10 to 15 minutes for that pizza to cook. So I don't consider pizza as a fast food. I would consider something really quickly cooked, like a hamburger, for example, or fried chicken. Those are things that are like fast food, things that are cooked very quickly. You know, a pizza is still baked, and for the most part, it's made with fresh flour and stuff. So I don't consider any pizza from Domino's because they still make the dough. Little Caesars, yes, because the shells are actually pre-made, so I would consider that a fast food. Joel, I didn't burn the garlic there. That's cracked pepper that was in there. But no, I didn't burn the garlic. I sauteed it. It's part of the recipe from Ron Popeil, but it wasn't burned. Raul, I do own a doorway pull-up bar. I do have one, but I don't use it because I have my total trainer machine, so there's no need for me to put up a pull-up bar. The doorway pull-up bar is something I would take when I'm on vacation, actually. Well, Joseph, the one thing about whey protein is it digests very fast. I would have some casein with it if you're wanting a slower digestion. Or what I used to do is I would take whey protein, I would mix it with a little peanut butter to slow down the digestive properties. But I would recommend eating some whole foods. But if some people will take nothing but whey protein, won't eat any meat and fish. And I say, if all you're going to use is whey protein, then you would want to at least either mix it with the slower digesting protein or just mix it with some peanut butter. But good question. That's the only downside to whey protein is it digests very quickly. So usually you need something to slow it down. Raul, I think any type of dip exercise, whether it's regular or straight bar, is going to be beneficial to your triceps. Now, if you lean forward a little bit on your dips, whenever I was doing whenever I was doing dips, I would lean forward a bit so that way I can hit my chest a little bit better. How many steps and miles I do daily? I don't do cardio every day. I do cardio every other day. But I don't go by steps and miles. I go by time limit. And usually that would be like 20 to 30 minutes. But some weeks, I don't even do any cardio at all. It's not really necessary to do any type of cardio in order to lose weight, for example. If you're doing high reps on your workout routines and you're moving and you're not taking any rest period times or anything like that, you're going to get an aerobic workout anyway. So, protein. I've been smoking there, so I may mispronounce something. Stop acting like this live stream's. This live stream's not a fucking English class, folks. So. No problem, Joseph. Have I ever fasted before? I've tried it before, and I've fasted for a couple of days. Lee Haney at one time had a fasting program where you would just take pills every single day, and it would cleanse the body. So I've done that before. I think there are some benefits to it. As far as fasting is concerned. But yes, I've done fasting. Pugman, I don't even do high intensity anymore. I still do a high amount of reps, but I don't do any HIIT training, no Mike Metzer stuff anymore. Because again, that involves heavy workouts here. So, how often do I watch hentai? I don't. I watch anime, but not hentai. Or excuse me, hentai. Yeah, I've done countertop dips and skull crushers before. Countertop dips is something that I would do whenever I was traveling. But I would actually use the end of the bed in order to do dips. I don't know whether this is the actual J Masters or not. I haven't spoken with Cuban ever since I cursed him out. If he's upset at me, so what? What is he going to do about it? The thing I hate most about Cuban is, he's seemed to have inserted himself into the fitness industry in which he has no place. He is not a bodybuilder. He is not a power lifter. He's not a drug dealer. He has no business being in our industry. He doesn't do anything. What is he doing here, He's not even a schmo as far as I know. He's not a mayor of bodybuilding type person. That's a good idea, Raul. I may just do that. There's a lot of ideas that people give to me. Like, for example, if you noticed, my profile picture changed with me showing that cigar. So Yeah, I do take you guys' advice, believe me. So, and I think that me with the cigar as a profile picture to my channel, I think it does look a lot better, actually. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know if it'll have any effect on my traffic. It probably doesn't, but it looks pretty cool. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Banded workout shoulder press. I don't know what you're talking about, Scatman. You're gonna need to be more specific. Or unless you're trolling, so. How many cigars do I smoke weekly? 7. One a day. Now, if I do, you have to understand, whenever I was working at Verizon, I would have 3 or 4 big cigars. Nowadays, I'll have one of these, and I have a tobacco pipe, folks. I don't smoke the tobacco pipe on here because it takes a little bit of work to talk and actually handle that at the same time. But I do have a tobacco pipe that I put Captain Black in. But I've definitely cut down on my smoking simply because I'm not under the gun anymore. I'm not meeting up with people neither. So, but the thing about cigars, it's not something to where you need to be hitting an entire pack of cigarette. It's not like cigarettes where you go through a pack a day or anything. There are some days where I don't even smoke a cigar at all. Peter, Vegan Gains' mindset is the most unhealthiest thing ever, you know. Now, whether it's a general medical condition or so forth, I'm not for sure. But a lot of his depression is based upon his general behavior and what he does and his actions and stuff. He plays a lot of violent video games, you know, very violent video games. You know, he's also eating a lot of sugary foods as well. And he doesn't get himself out of the house. He doesn't go on vacations or anything. At least the ones that I've actually seen. He's always at the computer, you know, doing 8 hour, 6 hour live streams. He's cut down a little bit. He's practically doing anything for money, so that plays into his psyche as well, whether he's twerking. The twerking I don't really have an issue with, or even doing the sit ups. Sit ups are actually good. The OnlyFans is the pretty bad stuff there because and that's the thing about it. When you do things like OnlyFans, it lessens yourself. It lowers your self worth. In other words, but good question. His activities that he does is self defeating. In other words, Charlie, I wouldn't touch either one anything that Jay cooks or especially Jason Genova's cooks. But I think you're actually trolling. I think you're making different references because I'm not familiar with a cucumber salad. John, I don't take any steroids. Even if I did, I'm not allowed to give out cycles while I'm on the chat. Yeah, cigars can cause mouth cancer and throat cancer. I've said that before. That these can cause lung cancer. They can cause throat cancer. Well, protein, anyone has. It doesn't. Smoking a cigar doesn't mean that I'm stressed out there. It helps me relax there, you know. You always need a level of relaxation after working, you know. So I can smoke because I'm stressed out, and then other times I can just smoke just to relax there. There's not a specific reason. I mean, I smoke cigars to relax. It can be due to stress, or maybe I just want to wind down from a hard day's work. Charlie, I think Lenny is going to outlive everyone, probably even me as well. Lenny has a really good constitution there, so. I mean, he's done all sorts of things that probably would have killed a billy goat, you know. So I think he'll live for quite some time for the most part, unless he does something real crazy. Protein bra. You have to take a look, and you have to take an inventory of everything that you're doing. Are you do you have any specific habits that are pretty unhealthy or so forth? Have you seen a psychologist or anything? What type of work do you do? You have to take an inventory of everything as far, and if you take an inventory of everything, I think you can probably pinpoint as far as to what the issue is. Now, if it's something that's work related, obviously you need to pay bills, so you need to have, in that particular case, a good work life balance here. You're about 60 there, Steve. But that's the one thing about depression and stress. You have to take an inventory because there's a number of variables that can actually cause that. Pugman, it's actually 60 degrees outside where I'm at. It's kind of warm tonight, so I don't even have my I have my thermostat set at like 66 or something. But I'm in South Carolina, so it's going to begin to warm up. We're still going to have some cold days, but this is the turnaround time to where things start warming up here in South Carolina. So now that the cigar is done, remember, folks, twist, not jab. Let me show you guys exactly what happens when you jab the cigar. You notice all that smoke come up there, and it just messes up all over the place. If I did that with a big cigar, smoke will go everywhere. And it issues out a very bad smell when you chomp down on it. Yeah, I bet it's cold. In the South, in Florida, it hardly ever gets cold. In South Carolina, it's generally warm, but yes, it's 60 degrees out. And it's been cloudy all day. But that's what I like about the South. I'm not big on cold weather, you know. I need that good old warm weather where you can pick some cotton and stuff. I'm just messing around, folks. I need some cotton picking weather. You can't pick cotton in the cold there, folks. Oh, boy. Yeah, 13 degrees is pretty cold. So I'm assuming you guys don't live in the South there if it's that type of temperature. Mm. time. Okay, if looks like we got 19 minutes left there. I know some of you guys wanted to say that I should do something similar to twerking, which I would never degrade myself with. So, I just thought of something. If I was going to do something for like a $40 or $50 donation, I could probably sing like one of my old military cadences that I had in ROTC or so forth. So that's what I should start doing. If someone I should put something up there to where someone donates $40 or $50, I sing a military cadence of some type. So I think that would be a good idea. Yeah. I like that Selena song. I'm not gonna twerk there, Pug Man. I'm not a twerker. Sorry, I'd rather go back to working at Lowe's, which, folks, you gotta understand, there's nothing wrong with unloading trucks or doing some hard work there, because at the end of the day, it's really all about your self worth. Is it worth $50 in order to personally embarrass yourself there like that? Because that's something that you'll have to live with the rest of your life. Is it worth making $500 to $1,000 on OnlyFans showing your noodle and stuff? Stuff sticks with you for the rest of your life. You have teachers out there that have twerked on video and have lost their jobs. People that became strippers in order to get through college, and then finally when they get that dream job, some a-hole goes and pulls out their pictures from when they're stripping days and they end up losing their job. It's to a point to where they have to change their name. So you have your positives and negatives as far as trying to make so much money, when in fact it's usually beher just to do it the old-fashioned way. Now, if I get hard up on money or so forth, I'll go back to doing security work. Or I'll go back to unloading. I'll go back to working at Walmart. I'll go work at Lowe's. And when I worked at Lowe's, I was a cashier. That was at the time when I was between after I got laid off of Alltel. I went from $40,000 a year. And when I worked at unloading trucks at Walmart, I was only making $7.95 an hour. Now, it's not that much money, but it's honest work. It's honest work. It definitely kept me in shape too. When I worked at Lowe's, I spent 5 years there. I only made $11.19. It's not much money, but I made it work. I started at Lowe's at $8.75, and this is like 2012, folks. But I still kept my dignity at the end of the day. And folks, you gotta measure how much dignity you have, because that's all you got. That stuff, dignity and your self-respect is so valuable, folks. Don't go and throw it away over just making a couple of shekels on doing things like getting on OnlyFans. Don't do that, folks. Just don't. Oh, that's nice, Jay. I'll mark that on my calendar for March 5th. Yes, cold is hard on the body in old age, but what really gets to me, Pugman, is changing weather. Whenever the weather changes, it makes me, I get super sick, and that's the same with my mom. If the weather changes around from hot to cold all of a sudden, I get violently ill, actually. My body starts aching everywhere. My body hates changing weather. Oh, you were a cashier too, Pugman? Yeah, I actually had 3 sets of shoes when I worked as a cashier. Because when you stand around all day on a cement floor, you know, and you try to wear the same shoes the next day, the shoe hasn't recovered from standing on it for like 8 hours. And I also had special inserts as well. But but Pugman, wouldn't you agree with me? It's good, honest work. That's what Richard and Jasmine should be doing. They should be working. There's nothing wrong with working at a grocery store or something like that. You know, some people actually recognize me whenever I was at Lowe's, say, "Hey, aren't you Vince Goodrum and stuff?" I can't believe you're working a regular job. I'm like, yeah, that's fine because I'm not gonna indignify myself by doing something crazy or working at one of these expos to where I have to work for to pay my dues and stuff like that. Yeah, Jay, there's a lot of people that are making money on OnlyFans. I'm sure Richard and Jasmine are making good bank on OnlyFans. The reason why they make a lot of money is because you're selling your dignity, you know. And then there's some people that don't make much on OnlyFans and they're still selling their dignity. Raul, they don't have a YMCA where I live at, but what would be wrong with working at a YMCA? It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Or however you do it. I suppose you would have to wear non-slip shoes, Joseph. There, safety first. Yeah, I worked at. I guess. Well, Walmart technically is a grocery store too, so I would unload groceries. So, yeah, I used to stop. Whenever there wasn't much to unload, or if we got finished unloading the truck early, they would send us out to the grocery section and stock groceries. And I just put my headset on, listen to some music, and I just rotate and stack the cans. Yeah, dishwashing. That's just good hard work there. Keep your dignity. Raul, I did roller skate back in the day. I probably couldn't roller skate now. We still have roller skating rinks here in Piedmont and in Greenville. That's still quite popular. So if you want to get that 70s experience, come down to Greenville and get into the roller skate rink. We still actually have those actually here. They're still very popular. I may do that with a couple of friends sometime and skate in a rink. A couple. Well, yeah, Raul. I used to break dance too. That's one of those '80s, '90s things. Before all this cell phones and stuff like that. Before good video games and stuff. You would go out and play. Uh, you would go roller skating. You would go hang out. At places. You would cruise up and down Patton Avenue in Asheville, and sit on your car and chat with people. I think people still speed up and down, drag race down up and down Patton Avenue. But yeah, I think there's two roller skate rinks that are still around in Greenville. That's still very popular. All right, folks, got 10 minutes left. Get your questions in. Get your questions in. You want to put something in the donation plate, you can do that too. But more importantly, get your questions in if you got to ask me. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait until Friday's midnight run. Oh, that's cool there. I always liked Powerhouse gyms. They always had good equipment. I know they're reopening the Gold's Gym. There was actually a Gold's Gym that's about 2 miles away from me on Augusta Road. They're reopening that into a brand new gym. I'm not sure what franchise it actually is or whether it is a franchise, but they're going to be reopening that soon. And I'm going to probably check that out. But Raul, I just answered that question. I did go roller skating before, so that used to be a 70s, 80s, 90s thing. The only reason why it went out, it's not prevalent in this day and age, is because of video games and we're in the social media era. Yeah, I'd probably get day passes at Powerhouse. I would need to work out somewhere if I'm traveling. Usually, whenever I am traveling, I always get a day pass. Hmm. Oh boy. I think I got some chicken I need to grill up, but I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I don't want to stink up the house or anything. Pugman, I know you were asking about what stinks up the house. Not so much my cigars. I smoke really good premium hand rolled Dominican and Nicaragua cigars. So it has a pleasant smell, and especially my tobacco pipe. I use Captain Black Cavendish, so it's very aromatic there, so it makes the house smell really good. Whenever I have friends over, and I just got finished with a tobacco pipe, they're just like, "Man, this house smells pretty good there," you know. Well, Steve, you can wear insults in your work boots, but if you're going to be working regularly, you should have a couple of sets of work boots here. But I guess changing your insoles would be sort of the same. All right, Andrew, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you on Friday. Remember, it's 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but you always seem to remember the time, so shouldn't tell you that. You have a good night. Be safe out there, brother. Is that 2J Masters in my stream? How about that? Let's see if YouTube has flagged me yet for my video. They usually flag me long before while I'm actually doing these videos, so. Yeah, they flagged this one too. It seems as though they flag the videos and then they take it off there, you know? I don't know why. It's weird. It may be due to me reusing the settings, I guess. Truth one, I don't think any of the J Masters accounts are real. Raul Jay looked silly with this faux hawk. Jay needs to wear a better set of clothing. He needs higher quality clothing. He needs to dress his age, in other words. You know, when you're in your 50s and you're wearing t-shirts and ball caps and stuff like that, that's not the way someone should actually dress at that age. You see, when you try to wear t-shirts and ball caps, it just makes you look a lot older, you know. If you dress your age, you're going to actually look younger. So your pronoun now, Raul, is J Masters. You identify yourself as J Masters. I didn't say anything about cheap there. It just makes you look older when you're wearing something that's meant for a 20-year-old. The only time you should wear any type of sports apparel is if you're going to a game or if you're going over to a friend's house to watch the game, and that's it. I don't feel that wearing that stuff as a general, wearing it out in general purposes. And my good friend Matt that I used to work with at Verizon, he wears a lot of Clemson stuff, which is perfectly fine. But he would wear Clemson polo shirts and stuff, with the small logo on it, When you're wearing some bright ass purple thing there that makes you look like a what the Rock say makes you look like a fruity pebble, then it's not stylish. It's not gentleman-like, I dress like a gentleman. You guys see me in my V-neck sweaters and my polo shirts and stuff like that. That's the appropriate way a gentleman should dress, in my opinion. And when you dress like that, it actually makes you look younger. Makes you look more appropriate. You can go to places and environments. You definitely couldn't wear Michigan gear in the Swordfish Club. I mean, you could wear it, but you don't draw a level of respect, per se. Well, Matt, we did get something new on Leo. Someone told me about the pictures, which I didn't know they were published on the Delray board. And yes, he does look a little bruised up, so. But there's no definitive information really as far as to what happened. I do know one thing. John Bravo knows something that I don't know. So I would if you want to know anything, I would keep track of John Bravo's site and see what video he releases next on Leo, because he's going to have the up-to-date information long before I would actually have it. No, I'm not a peasant. Would I ever be a peon? A peon is an idiot, and a peasant is just a poor person. So I would rather be a poor person than to be an idiot. Cobra attack. I didn't see Destro at the place or anything like that. So no Destro, no Major Blood or Dr. Mindbender. So I don't think it was a Cobra! All right, 2 minutes left, people. Get your questions in, or get your collection plate in, or put whatever you want in the collection plate. I don't know. But we's about to close out the live stream. I'm going to go get me some food. Something to eat. Well, yes, I'm aware, Quick Pump, that there are actual Cobras. You got in here pretty late, Quick Pump. I mean, I guess you're going to have to listen to the replay. All right, folks. It is 10 o'clock p.m., and that is the end of the show tonight. I want to thank Scatman. I want to thank Vince Goodrum for putting in a donation. I want to thank everybody else for showing up. It's always good to see you guys, to chat with you, have a little bit of fun. Remember, folks, the midnight run will be on Friday at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't be sure to not miss it. And Raul, I can't do the Sanford and Son anymore. Copyright it. So once again, it is me, VINCE. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Earl Grey Tuesday. And as always, peace and soul.